Welcome each and every one of you to Scholarships, the open forum discussion. We have some special guests today. This is part 2. So if you missed part 1, don't worry about it. We're going to do a little bit of review in part 2. But we're going to have the opportunity to speak to support our troops, to a soldier's hero, to we're going to learn information about various organizations today, as well as, again, a review of Scholarships Canada and where to find scholarships and how to write that winning essay. Teresa, I really like in your presentation where you made the comparison of the essays. I think that's going to be really cool. So my name is Margaret McKenzie. I'll give you my camera. I'll just put it on for just a minute so you can see who I am. Lovely to see you. My specialty is in online training and program development. I'm contracting my services with the Halifax Military Family Resource Center, and I am a Canadian Armed Forces spouse with about, I know for sure, 12 moves, about 27 years of experience, and more than 200 weeks of family separation. So I understand what it's like, the celebrations and the challenges of military life. I'm a business graduate from St. FX University and a parent of 2 military kids who are extremely resourceful, and I'm very proud of them. So today is part 2 of the scholarship series, where we're going to share that scholarships are for you, and stake your claim and apply. You're going to hear that an awful lot. So we're going to go through introductions today, and then we're going to meet Teresa Roy, who's from Support Our Troops, and they have more than 40-something scholarships specifically for military families and the military community. Then we're going to meet Rima Aristocrat. I hope I'm saying that right, from Wireless College, and she is the founder of a Soldier's Hero Scholarship, which we're going to be sharing. And then we're going to talk give you information about the Royal Canadian Legion, information about Wounded Warriors Canada and Canada Company. We're going to look at different scholarships that are available just by asking. We're going to share some tips, and we're going to meet Katrina. So Katrina is a winner of more than $8,500 of scholarships, and she learned in 2016 from this particular series that we hosted 2 years ago. And from this series, she was able to get more than $8,500 worth of scholarships. So she is going to share on a video her top 5 tips and then where to contact us. So we're thrilled that you're here. It's going to be a full hour and 15 minutes, probably to an hour and a half, depending on your questions. And so let's get started. I'm really thrilled to introduce to you Teresa Roy, Scholarship and Camp Coordinator for Canadian Family CMF. Can you give me the acronym, Teresa? CFMW.
Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services.
Thank you.
It's a mouthful.
The acronyms, right? Hi, how are you? Thanks for joining us, Victor. We just got here, and yeah, if you can mute your microphone, that'd be awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Great. So, Teresa, I'm thrilled to have you here, and I'm so thankful for all that you do, not only for the scholarships, but for helping our families to get to camps as well. So I'd like to introduce you to Teresa Roy and hand it over to you, Teresa.
All right. So do I have charge of my slides here? I haven't.
If you just tell me, I'll change them.
Perfect. Okay, so you can. So as introduced, I'm Teresa Roy. I've been with Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services for almost 2 years now in a few different roles. I was with the Veteran Family Program for a while, so I do know a lot of the MFRCs throughout Canada. And I've been with the Support Our Troops side of things since June, so it's new to me still, but I have come into it inheriting some, I wouldn't say bad habits, but just some unorganization, so I've really made some changes that I think make it better for the recipients and the people that are competing for our scholarships. Next slide. So our scholarships are available to dependents of currently serving members or veterans. This includes spouses. It's These are made possible through Support Our Troops, which is the official charitable cause of the CAF community. The funds come from individual donors, corporate donors, yellow ribbon campaigns. There's 3 provinces that have the yellow ribbon license plate, so a portion of that comes directly to the scholarship funds. And this is our 5th year that we have that we're doing this.
What is the deadline for submissions?
The deadline is, had I left that blank? The deadline this year is going to be May 1st.
May 1st. Okay. No, you did not leave it blank. I just wanted to make sure I asked you because I didn't see it on the slide.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Should I change the slide?
Yes, please. So right now we have 35 confirmed scholarships, and you can see the numbers on the screen there. So they're quite substantial. They're one-time scholarships, so you get it as soon as you're declared a successful recipient. We do some paperwork and you get your deposit. This number usually goes up as time goes by because we do have corporations or individuals that will suddenly find out about us and want to give an endowment. So say in late May they say, I have $10,000 that, wow, you guys do this, I want to give you $10,000 to put more scholarships out there. So we add it to the pot, and that enables us to, give more. So we're opening our competition February 1st. It closes May 1st. And in the meantime, if we do have scholarships to add after the fact that we start adjudicating the competition, what we do is every entry is judged, and they're kept in a tally. So if we do have extra, it would be the next person on the list that would have gotten the scholarship had there been more. So we do keep track, and if we do get more money, even if it's right at the end, or if someone gives money in September and says, oh, well, can you make sure it gets out of this, we do just go through our list and keep picking the next qualified person. And next slide. So in the past, we just had a very short essay. We used to ask for a resume, and it was quite unfair to pit a 17-year-old fresh out of high school with maybe a summer job. If they were coming from out-can, they couldn't work, so there was really no resume, against maybe a military spouse that had 25 years of experience and was just going back for some continuing education. So we took out the resume. The 3-part essay is now a little more succinct. I believe everyone on the even scale for writing in what we're asking for. We ask for an academic transcript, so whether you're a spouse or a student of student age. Proof of enrollment from your academic institution. Now, I believe somebody on here says they're not sure, they're looking at a couple different schools. If you were to apply on Friday when this opens and you weren't sure where you were going, in the application form, we ask you to upload everything. And what you could simply do is upload a Word document that says, I'm applying to these 2 schools, not sure yet. And what would happen is we keep that on file. If you're chosen to be a winner, then we'll definitely say, where are you going? So there's always, room to upload an explanation, and then let us know later if you happen to be chosen as a successful recipient. And then we're also looking for any volunteer or civic engagement that you've done at any time.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
If a student gets a scholarship one year, can they still apply again the following years?
Yes, they can.
Great, thank you. So the 3 parts, can you explain the 3 parts of the essay?
Yeah, so the first part is describing how the connection to military life has helped to shape and prepare you for the future. So what's it been like? Some people are only stepping into it maybe as with a step parent, so they haven't entered into military life until they were, 12 or 13. Some are grew up in the military and then married into the military, so they've had a lot of experience. So we're looking for the story behind it. We want to know what it meant to that person and how it shaped them. In the next part, we're looking to see where you're going and what you're doing and how you're going to get there. So we really want you to think about it. So it's not just, you know, if I win, I'm going to use this money to do this. We want to know what you're doing and why. So are you going to be a nurse to give back to the community that has given to you? Or, you know, we want the story behind what you're going to school for and why you want to do it. And then the last part, because we're not, I mean, there's the difference between a scholarship and a bursary. One is based on academics, one is based on financial need. And because ours is neither, because we don't look at your financial circumstances, and we also don't judge it based on your academics solely, we just ask, you know, what's the personal impact for you if you were chosen to get a bursary? So what does it mean to you? Does it mean that, you know, it maybe allows your parent to save for the next child in line type thing? Or does it allow you to, and because we send the money to you, not directly to the school, does it allow you to save up for that first trip home at Christmas, or, you know, et cetera? So we're looking for what it means to you personally to receive this money.
Wow, okay, excellent.
So there's a little bit of freedom in our scholarships.
And you want creativity.
Exactly, yeah. And this is a little sample of our scoring rubric, just on what we're looking for in your writing, and if you adequately can answer the question. So we want to know if you describe it properly. And then it goes between excellent, proficient, adequate, limited, and poor. So if I've given the general description. So for part one, it says applicant describes connection. Excellent would be applicant describes connection well. Proficient would be describes connection partly. Limited would be applicant describes with trouble, so et cetera, and each one goes on like that. And then in the essay structure, we're looking for writing style, sentence structure, and word choice, and you'll see in another slide where that comes in. Last year's competition, like I said, it was my first time seeing the results, and I was quite shocked at what we got. Everything was jammed in one paragraph, like 500 words in the paragraph, and I'm like, this is hard to read. I received essays that were meant for another competition where someone didn't even bother to change the title.
Oh, no.
It's just little things that make a difference. You know, it's like applying for a job. It's that one little thing on the resume that can make a difference between someone tossing it aside or putting it in the definitely pile. So little things to watch out for. So we've posted this on our website as well, with some tips and tricks, just, you know, to make people aware that we are looking for substance. It's not just, it's not easy. We're not making it easy.
And you know what, I'm really glad that you're sharing this, because when we were talking about Scholarships Canada, with every scholarship, most scholarships have an essay component, and the administrators are always looking for substance. So this is a really great information, not only for support our troops, but for any scholarship. You know, make sure you change the names, make sure you're creative. Excellent.
Yeah, it's great to write one essay for multiple, you know, competitions, but yeah, change the subject at the top, you know, change the title, change the file name. Just little things, it matters.
It matters, okay.
So I know this might be hard to read, and maybe once it's recorded, or if you do a screenshot right now, you can take a good read of it after. So the green side, if it looks green on your computer, depending on your color scheme, this is an actual winning essay from last year. She told a story. This was her essay. It actually appeared on our Real Military People Facebook page as well, because it's a true story, and it captivated us. She used awesome words. It didn't look like an essay, but we could understand what she meant where she was going with it, why she was going into what she was doing. And we really got out of what she got from military life to the high standards of her, just from her father polishing his boots. And that's where she learned, you know, you can live your life by high standards, but you can still go through life without, you know, being so rigorous. And we just loved her story. And I noted at the end that we had asked for 500 words. She wrote 500 words. Great, perfect. The one in the orange, I wrote this myself on purpose. So there's no creativity. There's no story. It's very dry. It's, you know, I've done this, I've done that, I've lived here, I've lived there. The experience I have gave me open-mindedness. It doesn't tell me anything about the person. It doesn't tell me anything about what they want to do or why they're going to school, what they're going to school for. There's just nothing to it. And if you note, they only used just over half the words that they had the chance to use. So had they expanded, they could have done a lot more with it. So use the words that you have to use. You know, go to the limit. You can go over. There's nothing bad about going over. But to use half the words, you're cutting yourself short. Or if you can hear my cat.
And that's good. It's a family program. Everybody's welcome. So going over, I've been told you shouldn't go over more than 10 or 15 words because people are busy, and that's sometimes they won't even read the extra.
No, we read. So we have the people that read the essays, we have a group of volunteers from each element that are reform committees that read these. And they take it quite seriously because they're often on the honors and awards committees for each of their elements within their regiments or departments. And this is what we tell them, you know, look for the story, look for what grabs you. So they're reading these with the same lens. And like I said, if it does go over, it's okay because I'm not giving them the word count. So when it comes to me and I'm doing the initial scan to make sure that everything is there and that all the attachments are proper and everything matches, you know, I use the word count. If it's, you know, crazy over, I'd probably write back to the person because I'm just like that and say, could you shorten it a little bit? It's, you know, thanks for your submission, but it's a little too wordy. Is there anything you can do to shorten it? Most people do stick to, you know, the number of words, but when you go half, that's really not showing any ambition either, I don't think.
Right.
Kind of like you just wrote it as fast as you could to get it in.
Okay. Those are phenomenal points. Thank you so much for sharing that.
And I think the next slide might be my last. Yeah, so there's our website. Like I said, all the information is there that I just went over. Our links for the applications will be up Friday morning. And yeah, I'm sure that my email and my phone will be hot on we usually get about 400 to 500 applications.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does one person ever win 2 of the scholarships?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
And we're going if you're worried about getting all this information, we're going to send you an after-session email with all these links so that you don't have to write them all down.
Yeah, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Teresa with reference to support our troop scholarships? Just raise your hand or you can put it in the chat. Okay. Give us a green check if you're ready to continue. The green check is in the middle on the right-hand side. There we go. Tracy's ready. Mike's ready. Good. Victor. Victor, do you have a question? I see your little question mark there.
Yes. Yes, hello.
Hi, what's your question?
Hi, how are you today? Thanks for taking a minute. So I was curious. So I was medically released from the armed forces, and I have 4.5 years of Reg Force experience. I was wondering if I'm still eligible to apply for this.
So our scholarships are for dependents only, but we do have a list on our webpage. If you go to that web address, and there's the last tab that says Other Opportunities, and I have a list of about 50 military-related scholarships. It's a crazy inclusive list with some really whacked out scholarships, I think. Like if your grandfather was of this horse regiment, you're eligible for this scholarship. But there's quite a bit there that you might find something that you are eligible for. But at this time right now, we are just dealing with this one anyways. We are just dealing with dependents.
I was just a little bit confused. I thought it was for like just veterans or something, but
dependents of veterans as well.
Oh, dependents. So. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's only for dependents, or?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Ours is, yeah.
Okay. Fair. Well, that's awesome. You guys are doing this. Pretty sure you're well appreciated for this.
The session isn't only for dependents; it's for other people as well. So there's more information that you'll find.
Okay. And this link with all these different scholarships, it's called supportourtroops.ca.
Oh yeah, it looks like.
So I'm sharing it right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Supportourtroops.ca. Can you show us where those other scholarships are?
So if you go to Get Support.
Get Support.
National Scholarship Program. You just click there. Yep. Nope. Just click on National Scholarship.
Okay.
And then scroll down. Right to the bottom. Other scholarship opportunities. If you click there.
Ah, super.
And then click on the red. Other scholarship opportunities. And then scroll down, and it opens, like I said, a page of links of all kinds.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're going to be speaking about some of those, and I'll make sure you get this in the after-session email as well.
So there's quite a bit there, and some of them might be listed on the Canadian scholarships, and others might not, so they're there as well.
Okay.
Excellent.
I really appreciate it. I'm sorry, I have to go now because it was my birthday yesterday, and my family's over. So,
happy birthday.
Thank you. And I have to run to eat dinner. I apologize I would love to hear the full
We'll send you the recording, Victor.
All righty. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
So, Teresa, thank you so much. I really appreciate that information, and it was great to be able to share the website as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love your explanation of being creative and using your word count. That was really helpful to me. So thank you.
Well, when you think about it, just before you move on, to anyone who's listening that's going to apply, or if you have friends that are going to apply, remember that someone's on the other end reading it. So if it's not a purely academic essay, have some fun.
Have some fun.
Somebody's reading it, and you don't want to put them to sleep. So inject a little bit of creativity in it, make someone smile, because it makes a difference. It really does make a difference. So it's just my little nugget there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Rima.
Yes.
I am so thrilled that you're here today. And Rima is from Willis College, and she's going to be talking about a soldier's hero. There's many, many different great programs that Willis College offers. And I'm going to send it over to you, Rima, to share your information.
Thank you so much, Margaret, and thank you everybody for coming tonight to listen to this wonderful program. Unlike actually Teresa's explanations and the information, it's very different what Willis College did, and I think it's important to understand a little bit of history, where it came from. Willis College is a 153 years old private career college, and we're not funded by anybody. We're solely depending on the students coming and paying tuitions themselves. I've been with Willis 30 years now. And I have established a lot of different scholarships, a lot of different initiatives. But when it came time, 2016, celebrating Willis's 150 years, I said, what can we do to put back in the community? And the year before, I had graduate at a graduation ceremony. Theme of the graduation ceremony was family, graduates of family. And one of the graduates' family that spoke was retired Lieutenant Walter Seminov. And his speech actually was so touching, and the explanation how military families view their leaders or their parents, and how really there are important facts to consider was the heroes behind the uniform. And we all, it was like an education for us. So I knew right away that one thing I can do is to establish a $150,000 scholarship. And we went to establish the scholarship for a military spouse. Now, it was very interesting for us to do, how do we do this? We don't really have experience. Who are we going after? Who's going to be our mentor? Who's going to teach us what to do? So we went right away in Petawawa, and we partnered up with the MFRC, Town of Petawawa, the Workhorse Project, and all of them actually became after Board of Trustees. So official announcement was made in the Garrison Petawawa Military Museum, and in attendance of the MPs and MPPs, leaders, and military bases, and it was just overwhelming, and it was just so welcoming that warmed our hearts. So we said, okay, we need to form the Scholarship Board of Trustees, and in fact, the name of the soldier's hero was proposed and was approved by CWO Bill Richards. He's no longer with Petawawa right now, but he's still on the board, and we're still very active. By November 2016, Scholarship Board of Trustees received only 5 applications. That's why I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity I'm here today, because I was just, it was music to my heart to listen that Teresa say they have so many scholarships when we don't, and we have to really, really struggle to go out and find the recipients or the award, the interested bodies. So it was very important for us to get as many scholarships applications as possible. So by November 2016, we received, the Board of Trustees received the 5 applications, and of course it was decided to be chosen one. So I'm in Ottawa, and I'm driving in Petawawa because the announcement is at Garrison Petawawa, and saying, how am I going to announce one winner only? And in my head was going this, 150 years. 5 applied, we chose 1. But the military also has the slogan, the 0 left behind. So by the time I got on the podium, I awarded all 5 of them. So that's created an emotional moment for everybody. Today we have, this is our 3rd year, and every recipient and every graduate of the scholarship, the choice of the program, are most successful, most grateful, and all they want to do is how they will use this knowledge to benefit the community. So it's very touching to us and heartwarming to us. And we also have, we are actually very fortunate to have World War II, he just passed away a year ago, one of the living World War II veterans, graduated from Willis College, 1936, George Lloyd Sparks, and another is John Bray. So when we established those scholarships and we established the Veteran Transition Program, we actually named them after the George Lloyd Sparks or the John Bray. And they are, of course, the John now still active. They are very active all the time, and they're always there, every announcement, and welcoming the new recipients. So this became a little bit different than just awarding a scholarship. It became a very emotional for the families, for the community. So it's just an absolutely beautiful initiative. Now, even though we awarded all 5 of them same time, I've decided that no, we're going to continue because scholarship was decided to be annually until 2021. So we will honor that, and 150,000 scholarship became almost a double. But we like to see as many recipients, as many candidates applied for it. Now, all the information and every direction is, of course, on the website. But I want to go through the little bit different topics to talk about it. The basic selection and the details of the scholarship, and as you see, there's some of the bullets here. So scholarships will be awarded annually until 2021 to qualified military spouses who require financial assistance to enroll in a business, technology, and healthcare programs, as well as college, whether it is Ottawa or the Arnprior locations. Scholarship carries the value up to $25,000 each year. The scholarship provides tuition, books, industry certifications, and use of the lab, as well as college. It all depends what program they're choosing for them. The scholarship is non-transferable and may only be applied to academic career programs as well as college campus in Arnprior and Ottawa. And this scholarship actually is coming out from Willis College. It's not fundraised, it's not donated, it's our own funds are used for that. Students may attend the courses during the 12-month period, starting in the year of the award date, according to the Willis College's start dates.
So I have the website up here now.
Right.
If we go to scholarships on the right-hand side and military spouses,
yes,
that's where we're going to find it. $25,000 scholarships. Those are huge.
Up to $25,000 for 6 years. And I wanted to make sure that a scholarship amount matched the years of the Willis, which was $150,000. So I know I've extended. I know I almost doubled it because what initially was supposed to be 1 candidate each year, I awarded all 5. I will never regret this because absolutely the gratification we got out of it and the outcome of the recipients is just cannot be measured.
Right.
Some of the things that I wanted to touch bases, yes, interested candidates must apply by September 1st each year. And basic selection criteria is the selection committee is looking for candidates with proven intellectual and academic abilities, integrity of the character, respected by the human followers, and they also have to write a 500-word essay. And in an essay, they need to really specify the history and the excitement and what are they going to do to use this education, how they're going to benefit their own community. So our Board of Trustees are very diligent about it. They actually go through the line to line to every application, and the process to choose the candidates, it's not like, okay, let's do it. It's just we have a meeting after meeting, and they're very dedicated to that process. So selection, yes.
Teresa was talking about being creative and telling your story. So on that 500-word essay, that's important, isn't it, to be creative and tell your story?
The most important.
The most important.
It's most important to be creative, to tell the story, and to convince the Board of Trustees what would they do with this award, how they benefit not themselves only, but the community they live in, how they can pass it, and at graduation, after they graduate, we actually make the videos out of it, so they can tell us their process while they were there whole year, and what did they do end of it, how did they use that education to benefiting the community. And I think, Margaret, I sent you the link before, 3 of the links. It's called Willis Women, but some of the testimonials, some of the graduates actually are from the scholarship award recipients that tell their stories. So yes, it is very important.
Wonderful.
Also, the title, the Soldier's Hero, it was very touching because one of the members described their wives and their spouses to be a hero, and it was actually quite touching when we decided to call that scholarship Soldiers Hero. So method of application is to complete application with the required information must be mailed to the Willis College. This information is on the website where to email. It's a Soldiers Hero Board of Trustees in care of the Willis College in Ottawa, 1200 Laurier Boulevard. But they can email it by scholarship@Willis College as well. And there are information that's provided there, what they need to provide, what other documents are necessary to provide. And because we are post-secondary education, we need some of the documents as well. Applicants must be, of course, it has to be the adult, must be 19 years of age or older, and successfully pass entrance requirement that's provided on the website, provide a proof of secondary or post-secondary education, includes transcripts of the marks, and the successful candidates will be presented with the award and the commemorative certification at the Soldiers Heroes Award of Annual General Assembly. So more details, more information, website is provided there, and people can actually read what's required and how to submit. My hope for this tonight, and once again, I thank you so much for this opportunity, is that we can pass this information to the broader community. For instance, biggest thing right now, when veterans or veterans families are transitioning, where are the career opportunities? Where can find the jobs? Because whole essence of the Willis College is bridge them from the education to the employment. And as much as that people prefer that healthcare and business, women especially are shying away in the technology. So I have another mandate, being a woman, family of 3 girls, having 4 girls, 4 granddaughters. I really want to make sure that our women also are eligible or prepared to get these $150,000 jobs.
Is the Soldiers Hero also available for military members transitioning?
Their spouses.
Their spouses. Okay. Well, this has been very wonderful. 25,000 each year, up to that's phenomenal. So thank you so much for this, and I love the story of how you had 1, but then you said no, we're giving you 5, and you made it happen. I love how you did that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. This is wonderful.
Anybody has any questions?
Anybody has any questions?
Okay.
Put them in the chat or give a screen check if you're ready to continue. All right. Excellent. So we're going to continue. Great. Thank you very much, Rima. That was just very full of great information. All right, so other places besides Scholarships Canada where you can find really great resources for scholarships is the Royal Canadian Legion. Now, the Royal Canadian Legion does not have a national scholarship program, but every single solitary branch, you can ask them about their scholarship and bursaries that they offer, because most will offer. Some it's actually specifically for military families, some it's for veteran families, but they will always have something on their website. So ask the local branches and the provincial commands in your neighborhood. I think there's 4 in the Halifax region area that I Googled. When I spoke with 2 of them, they said, yes, we do. We have scholarships, but we don't get a lot of applications. So check. Just ask the question. Just ask your local branch. Because these administrators from the Royal Canadian Legion want to help you with your funds, and they have 2 programs. One is for scholarships, and the other one is for bursaries. And a bursary is when you're in financial need, and the scholarship is for when with the essay and that kind of thing, so you don't need to show financial need for that. So Brenda, you asked, can you suggest where OutCan students would apply for Poppy Fund scholarships? Same way. So they would contact a local branch, perhaps the branch of where they were beforehand, and see if they would qualify to apply. So if you're in Ottawa, there's a number of legions there that you could ask. Just ask the question. That's what I would suggest, Brenda. Just have them ask the question. Contact the legions and ask the question. Tell them that they're Canadian military, living outside of the country. Are there scholarships that you can apply for? Yeah. Question mark? Do you have a question for me, Brenda? No? Okay, awesome. So just ask. That's going to be one of the themes from today for sure. Check with your local branches, and they're not necessarily in Scholarships Canada, but they are great awards that are available. Okay, Wounded Warriors Canada has 2 scholarships available to be won. One is for post-secondary scholarships, and the catchment is from June 10th to July 5th. And the other is for Wounded Warriors Canada doctoral scholarships for people that are doing their PhD with reference to mental health. These are 2 phenomenal resources, but I want to share with you their website because there's so much more to Wounded Warriors Canada than just the scholarships. So it's really important for me. Wounded Warriors Canada has helped so many families with PTSD, living with PTSD. And here are just some of their amazing programs. So there's a trauma resiliency program, COPE, which means Couples Overcoming PTSD Every Day. And this program has grown, and it's a proven, and it's won awards. PTSD Service Dog Program. Did you know that service dogs cost over $15,000? So they're able to fund these service dog programs that are specifically with reference to Wounded Warriors because they're very strict on their requirements. There's also a new program called Before Operational Stress. It's called the BOSS program. There's tribute to special events. I had the opportunity to bike ride 600 kilometers through the Serbian battlefield with 30 veterans from 1992 to raise funds and awareness for Wounded Warriors Canada. So here is where you'll find the information on the post-secondary scholarship and the doctoral scholarship, and it's at the Wounded Warriors website. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to check those out and then put in your application. We're going to be hearing a little bit later. Oopsie. Sorry. There we go. So this is the website here. I don't think the website was showing. There's the Trauma Resiliency Program information, the COPE, Couples Overcoming PTSD Every Day, PTSD Service Dog Program, the BOSS program, and then the different scholarships, the post-secondary and the doctoral scholarship. So please check these ones out, and we're going to be hearing shortly from actually a winner of the Wounded Warriors Scholarship and what her top 5 tips are. Okay, so another great scholarship opportunity that's not found in Scholarships Canada is Canada Company. Give me a green check if you've heard of Canada Company. Red X if you have not. Okay, very good. Okay, so Canada Company established a scholarship program to recognize Canadian military members, family members of the fallen. So the scholarship program provides up to $4,000 per year to support the post-secondary education of children who qualify. And just in 2016, they expanded their programs from the funding that they received to include children of serving military members who have taken their lives due to PTSD and military service. So this is a phenomenal organization, and it's private donations, and they have an opportunity. We're going to send you to their website If you know of anybody who may fit the criteria, we're happy to share the website with you, and the information you can find there in the after session email. So thank you so much to Canada Company. Okay, for those, this is a repeat from last week, but I just wanted to underline something. 99,701. That's the number of awards. That's not how much they're worth. That's the number of awards that are available on this one website alone. Worth almost $200 million. So I'm going to share right now how you can get matched and how you can maneuver the Scholarships Canada website. I'm going to share my web browser. It's going to turn blue. And here it is. If you have any questions, if you bring your mouse right up to the tip top of the screen, you can still be chatting with me with your questions and your comments. So just make sure that there's a little tab at the very top of the screen where you can chat. So this is my dashboard. Now, in the dashboard, you set up whether you're an educational profession, whether you are a parent, or whether you're a student, what you're interested in, and what schools you're interested in. First, I'm going to share with you the Manage the Subscriptions, because this is where you can get scheduled deadlines or alarms for information that's coming up. Sorry. It logged out on me. So, okay, it's just going to take a minute here. Come on. Okay. Well, while that's loading, we're going to go to Plan B. We'll come back and share a little bit more about the Scholarships Canada website. But before I do, could you give me a green check? Does anybody have a profile set up on Scholarships Canada? Give me a green check if yes, a red X if no. No, no. Oh, a lot of no's. So I'm really excited to share this with you. Okay, so I'm going to try it again. I'm going to share the web browser. It's going to turn blue. There we go. So there's my profile. So if you manage subscriptions, under your subscriptions, you can ask for scholarships alerts. That sends you an email when the scholarship is coming due or you have a new scholarship in your dashboard. So the other thing that I'd like to share with you when I go back to my dashboard I have 74 scholarships that are good for me. I just have to be patient. But the other thing that I want to share with you is how you can add, if you're into canoeing or into sports. So if you update my profile, click on Update My Profile, and you're going to see various categories. So your current education information, your educational interests, your scholarship profile, and your community questions. So if I go to Scholarship Profile, here you can see, you can check what heritage you are, and then specific scholarships would come directly to you based on the heritage. You can also talk about extracurricular activities. Are you in agriculture, archery, athletics? And believe it or not, there are scholarships for a lot of these different activities. So it's really important that you choose there's scholarships. Nova Scotia Soccer is going to be talking in a little bit. But it's important that you choose your extracurricular activities and any affiliations that you're with. So if you volunteer with Food Bank, put that in there, and then if there's a Food Bank scholarship, you'll be eligible. You'll be told about it. And any personal circumstances. So make sure you really look through that section. because that scholarships profile section is where you're going to get a lot of your scholarships. I'm not going to go in too much detail because the very first recording has information on this Scholarships Canada, but those are things that I wanted to share with you today. And the other thing that I wanted to share with you is music. So if there's a little search bar, and if you put in music and provided by, you're going to come up with scholarships that are just for music. Do we have any musicians in the group? Give me a green check if you're into music. Playing music, a red X if not. A green check if you play music, a red X if not. Rima plays music. Good. What do you play, Rima? All right. So I want you to notice here the views. Sometimes the views are really high, in which case a lot of people are looking at it. But in this particular case, the views are low, so you don't have as much competition. It's a $2,000 scholarship, and it's due November 30th. So people still haven't quite caught on to this one as yet. But when you're doing your scholarship search, you can do searches or you can have them come to you directly, but always check the views. And maybe start with the ones that are a little bit less competitive, the ones with the low views. That's just a little tip for you. Okay, so really we want you to know to just ask. On the Scholarships Canada website, there is a specific scholarship awarded to assist descendants of those members of the Canadian Provost Corps. So if you happen to know anybody who's in the Canadian Provost Corps or was a veteran of that and you're part of the family, there's a scholarship for you. Can you imagine? You just have to ask your grandparents, ask your parents, ask people at the Legion. Just ask, because you never know when there's a scholarship especially for you. And there's more than 30 scholarships specifically for the military community at Scholarships Canada. So make sure you put in military as one of those check marks. Okay, so we're going to give you a few more tips right now and on finding scholarships outside of Canada, outside of Scholarships Canada. So we heard from Support Our Troops. We heard from the Royal Canadian Legion. We heard from Willis College, a soldier's hero. Thank you so much, Rima. We heard a little bit about Wounded Warriors Canada. Have you thought about asking your parents' work or your work? If you work at Tim Hortons and McDonald's, just ask. I'm sure they have scholarships there for youth. Ask at your church or community center. Ask at sports or music organizations. Ask teachers, Better Business Bureaus. Did you know that there's a scholarship from Tall Society of Canada for being tall? But who would know unless you ask, right? The Canadian Military Family magazine has a list of scholarships that are outside of Scholarship Canada that you can apply for. The CAF Ombudsman, has a list. It's 1 o'clock here. And, you know, there's more. Do you like, can you play the bagpipes? If you can play the bagpipes, there's a scholarship for that. There's a scholarship for being tall. A couple of years back, there was even a scholarship for designing and making your grad dress out of duct tape by 3M. Anything is possible. You just have to ask the question. Stake your claim and apply. So if you don't find anything in the 90,000 scholarships that Scholarship Canada offers, check out all these other different places that you can find scholarships and be ready to apply. Here's a great scholarship for Canadian military spouse. So if anybody's interested in a CanScribe career, to scribe medical transcription and healthcare documents, there are 2 $1,500 scholarships for a CAF family member to train online for CanScribe. I'm going to send you this website in the after-session email. The applications are due by February 28th. And not only that, if the 2 scholarships are gone or the deadline is passed, all military members and family members who enroll in the medical transcription will be eligible to receive a free dictation program upgrade. So just by asking. So this is things that we don't necessarily know, but we need to just ask. Okay, here's another just ask thought. Are you a family member of a Strathcona, from a veteran or currently serving? There are 2 academic scholarships, one for academic and one for technical. $5,000. Stake your claim, apply, just ask. So ask the military member in your family if their organization has scholarships. This is just one I wanted to show you because it really shares just ask. You never know until you ask the question. We're going to be sharing this one in the after session email for you to check out as well. Okay, do I have any sports fans, any soccer players or referees in the crowd? Give me a green check for yes if you're a soccer player or a referee. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, not our thing this time, but perhaps for the recorded they'll be interested in this one. So last year there were 7 scholarships available to be won, various amounts from $500 to $600 from Soccer Nova Scotia. So if you know of any soccer players, any soccer referees, women, men, it's an April deadline, and stake your claim, apply. Okay, anybody who came to the first session with me last week will remember these myths. So what I'd like you to do is just read through these myths. These are things that we thought we knew about scholarships, but really we're changing it to, we're sharing the facts with you. And raise your hand to share with us one fact that surprised you the most. Tracy, go ahead. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep. Okay, perfect. What I was going to say is that the fact that deadlines were year-round, because normally you just sort of assume they follow in line with when the university applications are coming in.
Ah, yes. So yes, they are year-round. Every organization, there are some hot months, like you're saying. You know, July, August is a hot month. But throughout the year, every organization has different timelines. Some are right through the year. So, and if you miss a scholarship deadline, don't fret, because you can put it in your calendar for next year if you still are available to apply for it, and apply for it. Anything else that stands out? This is my favorite here. The scholarships are for everyone from 16 to 96. Because when I first started doing these scholarship workshops, I thought it was only for grade 11 and 12 students. But no, it's for college, university, graduate levels. There's 90,000 at the scholarshipscanada.com alone. So remember these myths, and when you remember the facts that go along with these myths, and when you hear somebody say, "Oh, it's too competitive," more than $5 million each year is not given out simply because no one has applied. And you can see that on the Scholarships Canada website when they don't have a lot of views. You know, the competition, that's a myth. The fact is, people are wanting to give away their money, and they're not able to. Okay, so I'm going to give some scholarship essay tips. Join an essay writing workshop, which I'll share with you where you can do that. Read the question, be honest and creative. Now, what we mean by that, Teresa shared with it, Rima shared with it, and as administrators, you need to listen to what they're saying. Stay away from my name is blank, and my parent is in the military, blah, 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 blah. The administrator has to read hundreds sometimes of these essays. So if you just go with that, you're not really sharing your story. Instead, get creative. Say something like, with 12 moves under my belt and having attended 6 schools, I understand change. I feel pride and thankfulness every day when I know that I'm supporting my military family to serve and protect our great country. That tells a story. So make sure you're creative, and if you're having problems with that, join a writing workshop so that you can really learn how to write a winning scholarship essay. Do all the essays that they ask for. Pay attention to word count. Don't go too much over because they have their time, and definitely don't go too much under because it means you're not using all of the information to answer the question. Prepare the essay, but remember, change the names when you send them out. Don't give the same essay to everybody. Change the titles, change the names. Tell your story. Edit, 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 and that's not a typo. It's so important because if your essay is filled with spelling errors, it's going to be really frustrating for the administrators. So in the chat, write, what is the essay tip that is most important to you, do you think, for a winning scholarship essay? The chat is in the bottom right-hand side of their screen. What scholarship essay tip is most important to you, most valued? Grammar and spelling. Yes, Tracy, absolutely. As an administrator, you'd be so frustrated if, especially for a university applicant or a college applicant where you know that they're going to need to be on their ball academically. Being creative, yes. Yeah, what a difference, eh? You know, my name is Margaret McKenzie, my parent is in the military, blah, blah, blah. But really getting into the difference, being creative. And here's another example which we shared in the very first workshop. I'm not going to read this, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to read the difference. And just to share with you how important it is to stand out, to be creative. Stay away from my name is and my parents are and I want and I have and I have. Talk about marching, shiny boots, moves, deployments, and how it really affected you. Be creative. Tell your story so that you stand out. And Brenda is saying definitely to remember how many of these assessors have to read. You want to stand out. Absolutely. Be creative. And this is a really good example of just 50 words of, you know, how one is telling a story while the other one is just saying I. Look at how many times there is I in this. Try to avoid the I. And try to avoid really, and there's a spelling mistake right there. You know, great. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 more resources to stake your claim and apply. So the first is our own Halifax and Region Military Family Resource Center, Holly Rye. She's the Community Integration and Employment Support Supervisor, and she has a wealth of experience with resume writing and with writing in general. So she would be a great person for you to connect with if you wanted her to edit your essays. And you can reach her at holly.rye@forces.gc.ca or come on into the office and meet with her personally. Stake your claim, apply that, and just ask. So here's another really great resource. It's an organization called My Campus GPS. So Janet McDonald is based out of Nova Scotia, and she has years in the education system helping students secure scholarships. So now she's taken that information and she has developed a company on she coaches people how to find scholarships. She actually does scholarship writing workshops. Her next one is at Canada Game Centre on February 1st, which is Friday. And here's her website if you're interested. And while this particular website workshop is not complimentary, she does have many complimentary resources on her site. mycampusgps.ca, and we're going to be giving you that link in the after session email as well. So check her out. Another great resource is Brittany Palmer, who is based in British Columbia. So for anybody that's in BC who's listening to this recording, Brittany has earned more than $80,000 in scholarships to pay for her Simon Fraser education. So with that experience, she's opened Unlock Your Future. And quarterly, she offers online complimentary workshops on how to craft a memorable creative essay. And they're online using Skype, so check out her. I'll give you this in the after session email, and check out her information, and you can go to a free workshop as well on how to write a creative essay. So those are 3 great resources. I'd also like to introduce you to Katrina. So Katrina was not able to come tonight, but she is a military youth whose dad was deployed to the south of Sudan, and she's actually a winner of the Wounded Warriors Canada Scholarship 2015. And Katrina, because she's not able to come tonight because of university school, she's on her 2nd degree, she did a video for us to share her top 5 tips on her successful scholarship journey. So I'm going to share the video now, and I hope you enjoy it. If you could just mute your microphone before we put it on, that would be great. I am terribly sorry. We had some glitches. I'm going to send you that in the after session email. Her top 5 tips for successful scholarship. I'm sorry the video wouldn't show. Okay, so if you are not sure of the institution that you want to choose to attend, Brenda, can you share a little bit about the Canadian Virtual University and College Fair?
Sure. As you can see on this slide, so I'm currently running the Canadian Virtual University and College Fair on Facebook. The link is there, but if you just search that name on Facebook, you'll find it, and just request to join, and I'll accept your request. So what we've done is we've just gathered all of these universities here, and we have a couple more coming on. We've got Guelph, who's just signed on, and Concordia as well. So what they're doing is they're just coming on at certain times during this week, and they're available live for answering questions. And then they're also popping in throughout the week to answer anything that has been posted on their web page. So it's pretty straightforward. We've also done WebEx just like this WebEx, we've done recorded sessions with each of these universities and colleges, and they are basically discussing their college or their university and where it is, what kind of programs they have, the residences, that sort of thing. So they're very, very informative if you're not quite sure where you want to go. And if you watch the videos, which are on CAP Connection under Returning to Canada, actually, because they're mostly for out-can kids. But if you watch them, you'll see that each of the universities has some great tips for applications and all kinds of other things. And then you can ask any questions that you have live on the Facebook page throughout this week. So we do have a schedule on the Facebook page of who's going to be there and when. Today we had a really busy day. Tomorrow not so busy. Tomorrow we have UBC, St. Lawrence, Ryerson, and Dow, and then we have a bunch more on Thursday. So pop in and just let me know that you're there.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that resource.
No problem.
Will you be doing this again next year with reference to people that are just a year behind?
Yeah, well, this is actually more for kids that are in grade 11 than for currently applying. A lot of the questions are dealing with, you know, what do I need for credits? What do I need for, you know, application? And of course, it's a little bit US oriented because I'm down in Washington, DC right now, but it's for everyone. We will try to do it again next year. We're learning some things as we go. This is our first year doing it, so it's a little bit clunky right yet. We haven't refined everything, but so far we've had really good reports and results, so we're hoping to do it again.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So here are the general tips that Katrina was mentioning in her video, which I'll share with you in the after-session email. Sorry about the glitch. So get motivated. Stake your claim and apply, and really just think that you can do this. Because, you know, if you get everything ready beforehand, you can do this. Budget your time. Think about 3 hours per week is not too bad to win $8,000 or to win money for school. It's a pretty reasonable salary for 3 hours per week. Scholarships Canada is your BFF. Keep your profile updated, and don't forget to sign up for those scholarship alerts. And really add your different extracurricular activities and the organizations that you connect with into your scholarship profile so that you can get even more scholarships come to you. Contact the award administrator. The award administrators want to give you money. They really do, and they don't mind hearing from you, and having you ask your questions. They think it's really important. Apply to the smaller awards because there's less competition. Just ask. Work, family, community organizations. If it's not on Scholarships Canada, just ask your work and your parents' work and your grandparents' work, and just ask the question, do you have a scholarship? Be prepared. So have your draft essays, but make sure you really edit them before you send them to each one. Reference letters, personal statements, cover letters, ready to go. Make sure you are able to change the names, though, and just be prepared. Have a binder ready to go. And don't give up. My friend Brittany, who won over $80,000, she didn't get anything until her 16th try. So don't give up. You know, 10th time is a charm. Maybe 16th, but don't give up. Just keep trying. And please, if you get any scholarships, please let us know because we want to celebrate with you. This is the end of the session, and we're going to ask you to fill in an evaluation form when you log out of tonight's session. I will send you that video in its complete form in the after-session email, and I do apologize that it didn't work out. Holly Rye, I wanted to thank. Chris and Daniel from Scholarships Canada, Teresa Roy, REMA, Canada Company, the Royal Canadian Legion, My Campus GPS, Unlock Your Future, and all the organizations who so greatly support our post-secondary education. Katrina Hunter, thank you so much for the video that we'll share later. And my name is Margaret McKenzie, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have or to say good night. Thank you so much for coming out. And we'll have the after-session email with the recording for you to share.